Are you having fun in your business? I mean, it should be fun, right? Well, sometimes the fun gets overlooked when you're dealing with the have-tos, the complexities of being your own boss and actually running the show. It's my goal that this, the Fun Business, Fun Money podcast, can help reignite your spark of fun by providing tips, tools, insights, and inspiration so you can enjoy running your business in the simplest, easiest, most fun way possible. I'll be sharing practical tips and ideas that you can implement immediately, along with business and money mindset insights to keep you moving forward no matter what's going on around you. I'm your host, Deirdre Amies, the Fun Business and Money Coach and founder of Powered by Personality. Let's play. Hey there, and welcome to the Fun Business, Fun Money podcast. Today is a quick tip episode, which is not necessarily quick in terms of time, but it is quick in terms of implementing something practical or even shifting your thinking about something. Sometimes it's a tip or a tool that I find useful or a tactic that might help you be more productive. Whatever it is something that I've actually used or tried or implemented, not just a cool thing I heard once upon a time. This one today is a mindset tip, and I kind of want to say, check yourself, but that actually feels like a bit of a slap in the face. So even though I've already said it, there is more to it. Check yourself. I don't know about you, but I've been learning stuff for a long time now. There were a number of years where my growth and learning kind of stagnated, and I felt like I was stuck in a corporate boredom loop through my late 30s. But I woke up one day as I approached 40 and simply said, enough. There was this education assistance program through my employer at the time, which I asked about, but I was told that's not for staff in your kind of role, which is rude. Talk about a major roadblock. I was so mad at the double standards because we were being told that we needed to lift our game and do more, but there was no support to actually do more and lift our game to add something to our skills. Catch-22. And looking back on that, it was basically a nudge from the universe to say, it's time. Or as money mentor Denise Duffield-Thomas says, it's your time and you're ready for the next step. And let me tell you, I was so ready. There was this fire in my belly. I was like, how dare you tell me no? I'll show you. And that was the next step to researching online for things that might be of interest, because I literally didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I was searching for. So I just simply started with online articles and blogs about business-related topics. And that evolved into watching TED Talks and reading personal development books. And that's where everything changed. What I learned blew my mind. There was so much information available for such a small investment in the cost of books or courses or audiobooks. Now, I don't know about you, but I love that brain fizz feeling when I discover new ideas, new concepts. It's like the sun coming out after a week of rain or a cold drink of water on a stinking hot summer day. What I realized in that process was I didn't need a tertiary education that dictated what I should learn. I simply trusted my intuition, and it led me from one thing to the next, kind of like a trail of breadcrumbs. And I remember hearing a woman say in an interview that she had committed to reading one personal development book per month. And in a year, her whole business and income had taken a massive leap forward, all from reading 12 books. I can't even remember what the 12 books were. But I was like, game on. I am a champion reader. I am on for this. And I ended up devouring, let's just say devouring, 33 personal development books in a 12-month period. I still have a list of those books somewhere, and I think it's in Evernote, but I'm the first to admit that I remember very little from those 33 books. All I know is they were exactly what I needed at the time. My brain was like a sponge, soaking up all the knowledge that it had been lacking for so long during that corporate boredom period. But reading 33 personal development books in a year is not something that I would recommend unless your brain is a little starved like mine was at the time. And if that's the case, have at it. Just plow through that stuff and follow the breadcrumbs and enjoy every word of it. But that kind of pace isn't sustainable or useful because, as I said, I didn't retain much of the information long term. I was flitting from one thing to the next, looking for some gold nugget or secret sauce that I was somehow missing. Now, these days, almost every day I'm reading or learning something new, but it's a much more civilized 3 to 4 personal development books or audiobooks in a year. I choose the ones that feel right for me, not just the latest trends that everyone is recommending or even talking about. And I put the really good ones on repeat. And I keep coming back to them year after year because I want to really ingrain that concept so it feels completely natural and part of me. And I've mentioned this one before, but one of my favorites, which I'm currently going back through again, is Jen Sincero's You're a Badass at Making Money, purely because she makes talking about money so fun and awesome. Go check that one out if you haven't already. So even though I could very easily say, I already know that, next, let's face it, there's always something new to learn when you re-listen, reread, or revisit something. Now that's a roundabout story to get to the actual point of this episode. And that point is to catch yourself or check yourself. When you hear yourself say or think, I already know that. Yeah, you probably do already know that. You may have heard it from 10 different people or books or sources already. But have you heard it enough times to really embody the thing that you need to hear, the lesson that you need to learn from this piece of information to really change your life, your business, and your financial situation? Have you heard it enough times? If we keep saying, I already know that, and flitting off to the next trendy thing, we're not really changing anything, are we? Without implementation, nothing changes. I know, shock. Sometimes we need to hear the same thing over and over and over, sometimes for years, until one day you hear it again. And it's like this whole new concept that you've never heard before. And you're like, where was that all this time? How come I didn't notice it? Because for all the reasons you weren't paying attention. But suddenly it makes sense. And you can see how it fits into your life and your business or your money puzzle like it's the perfect missing piece. It may not complete the whole picture, but now you can see it as the important piece that you needed or that you were looking for all along. Now, an example of this is productivity. I caught myself the other day thinking, I already know that when I saw several people posting about James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. Now, I'm pretty good with habits. When I commit to something, I am all in. Once that decision is made, everything else after it is somehow easy. I can't explain it. So I get the concept of Atomic Habits. I have the audiobook. I'm a couple of hours into it, but I haven't finished it. At the time that I was listening to it, I found myself saying, I already know this, and I moved on to something else. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying or thinking, I already know that. Like I said earlier, it may not be what you need right there in that moment. It may be that you have to hear it from a different person. Maybe you have to see it in a different way or have some other experience first before it makes sense. And I know I'll come back and finish Atomic Habits eventually. The same thing happened back in 2006 when Rhonda Byrne's book, The Secret, was published. Everyone was talking about it. There was so much hype, which of course is a turn-off for me. So I basically rolled my eyes at it. It was everywhere, or it certainly felt like it. And it wasn't until 2015 that I actually picked up the audiobook and listened to it. And suddenly, it blew my mind. It all made sense. Up until that point, though, I'd been saying, whatevs, I already know that, because I understood the concept of the law of attraction. But I certainly didn't know enough about it to actually implement anything. So, of course, the law of attraction didn't work for me. But when you give something your proper attention, when it's the right thing at the right time, that's when everything changes. And that's why it's important not to jump on the latest trendy thing simply because everyone is talking about it. It might not be your time to truly understand whatever that thing is. But also, don't feel guilty if it doesn't land for you the way that it seems to for everyone else, that you don't get those instant results and the massive leap forward. Because again, it might not be your time to truly understand it. Let's face it, nothing is truly new. The business and money ideas being taught now are not brand new and revolutionary. Even ChatGPT and AI are not new concepts. They're simply more prominent and accessible now than they were before. Do you think there were no other books about habits or the law of attraction before James Clear and Rhonda Byrne came along? No, of course there was. They just phrased it in a fresh way that appealed to a modern audience. And hey presto, everyone is talking about them and they're amazing concepts. So that's what I got for you today. Check yourself and notice where you're saying, I already know that. Yeah, you do. But there's a reason this thing keeps presenting itself to you. So maybe it's time to take a closer look at it. What's something that you've been dismissing in your business because you've already gone through that process? Maybe it's me talking about identifying your niche and your ideal clients. You already know that stuff. But what if you could create more money and more freedom by going through it again with a fresh perspective? What if you specialized even further and discovered a whole new level of ease and flow with amazing clients that you just didn't see before? That is the power in checking yourself when you say or think, I already know that. Next time you catch yourself thinking or saying that, hopefully you'll even have my voice in your head saying, check yourself. Because maybe, just maybe, there's something more to that thing that you think you already know everything about. A new, fresh perspective. Take care, have fun learning old concepts in a new way, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for joining me. If you found this episode useful, make sure you hit that follow button on your chosen podcast platform so you get the notifications when each new episode goes live and you don't miss anything. If you know someone who would also get something from it, don't be shy, share it with them. One of the best things about being a business coach for online entrepreneurs is helping them make sense of their creative ideas and turn them into a simple, clear business system that actually makes money. A client recently described me as a castle building expert. You've got the big vision and some of the building materials already, but you don't quite know how to bring it all together into a solid foundation. Then I come along and I show you the blueprint that makes sense of it all. I love that analogy. And I'd love to show you your personalized blueprint, the one that's just right for you and your clients. But I can't do that until you join Ignite, my business and money coaching program. So head on over to deirdreamies.com/ignite for all the details. Fill out the application form and let's talk about building your castle in the simplest, easiest way possible.